Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment I've been waiting for. I've been itching to try the brand new 5090, and we're here at NVIDIA, and I've actually got some access, and I can test Cyberpunk. And I'll be honest with you, I've gone into this being, as if you saw the video at least, very, very pessimistic about it, because if 15 out of 16 pixels with all of the bells and whistles turned on mean that there's barely any like rasterization or rendering going on, what's the GPU actually doing? We want more performance, we don't want to have to rely on all of these features, but what if it just works? And what if all of these features are very much a good thing? That is what we're here to find out. And very importantly, not only do we have a pre-release version of Cyberpunk running here, but we do have our frame rate counter, but crucially, we also have our PC latency, because this was the thing for me that I was very, very scared as to what the performance was going to be, because it's all very well having 220 FPS, but if your latency is sky high, then it's not really usable anyway. So let's go through the settings. Let's start this off by saying at the moment we have this running at 4K. This is actually a 4K 240 Hz display. We go over to video, there you are. So we have this running at 4K. We're not running this in windowed mode or anything. We've got DLSS set to performance, but we will change this in just a second. Ray reconstruction is on. We have DLSS turned up to the max, which is the multi-frame generation, so 4X. And then when you scroll down, you can see all of the other settings are pretty much high, or well, they're maxed out really across the board. That one's not. Let's change that to Psycho. And then in terms of ray tracing, we actually have full path tracing enabled on this. So this is now absolute maximum. And honestly, I am like lost for words about how smooth this is. This is not going to come across properly in video. And again, this is coming from someone that's been very, very pessimistic about this. But this is 240 Hz, 4K, and we're getting 290 FPS. And yes, that is AI generated, but our latency is around about 35 to 40 milliseconds. So this feels pretty spectacular. I mean, is this perfect? Well, no, you are going to find a couple of artifacts from here and there, but I mean, it's just not very obvious. One thing I have noticed on a couple of these PCs has been like a little bit of stutter every now and then. One of the PCs was restarted. I was told that was not absolutely right, but I've noticed it a little bit here, but definitely not as much. As I say, early access build, this when it's released, we don't actually know when it's going to be released yet. It could be along with the GPUs on the 30th of January, or it could be a little bit later. They haven't actually told me yet. I'm not sure if they know, to be honest with you. But what I want to do here is not just say, oh wow, you know, 300 FPS or 291. I want to go through all the different options and all of the different settings so you can actually see what this GPU is capable of in Cyberpunk at a whole host of different settings. So let's start by lowering this down. Again, frankly ludicrous, 284 FPS. This is not like any bells and whistles? What's the word, Carl, I'm looking for? It's no mucking about, no lies here. But yes, we will now change the DLSS to quality. So usually you would notice a massive difference to the frame rate and the game will feel significantly worse. So turning this down to quality, once it settles, you can see that our latency, as you'd expect, has increased. So we're now looking around about 50 milliseconds or so. We did see a little frame spike there. My quick cheat sheet in terms of PC latency is that you're looking for 55 milliseconds or lower. For me personally, in a single player game, that is the point where I can start to notice that you're almost steering your character a little bit. Obviously 56 milliseconds, you're probably not going to notice the difference, but the closer you get to 100 milliseconds or so, the more obvious that's going to be. So we're aiming for anything below 55 milliseconds or so. And DLSS has also been improved quite a lot this time around. The, again, almost cheat sheet that they said was you're looking at 4K resolution. If you use DLSS performance, that's now going to be similar or reminiscent to what DLSS balanced was on the older version of this. So we now have DLSS transformers, which will help to just reduce some of those jaggies, a little bit of like ghosting or any like horrible bits of motion or something in the game. I always get a little bit misled in Cyberpunk because they deliberately add a bit of like motion blur to the text, but no, that's just the game. That's nothing to do with DLSS. But yes, quality settings, 50 milliseconds or so. So I would argue that this is probably going to be the sweet spot really for 240 FPS monitors or so. But I mean, realistically, who actually has a 4K 240 Hz display? There's not really been a reason for everyone to go out and get the one, because even if you had a 4090, you wouldn't be able to fill it out. But suddenly, a single player game like this with full ray tracing, you're able to do that. So that is pretty ridiculous. But let's now proceed to actually pull apart this DLSS frame generation a little bit by finding our multi-frame generation setting. We're getting a little bit of flicker at the moment, I think, again, pre-release build. But we'll change this down to 3x, which means we now have 2 AI-generated frames rather than 3, and you can see that our frame rate, as you'd expect, has decreased. Interestingly, the latency, it's improved ever so slightly, but I thought we'd have like a bigger difference, and this is a good thing. I thought that the more AI-generated frames that you actually put in here, obviously the higher the latency would be, and that is true, but it's not as dramatic as I would have expected. It's only around about 3, 4, maybe 5 milliseconds or so. Probably not even that, to be honest. It's going to depend on the game, the implementation, the settings and things. But I find that very, very intriguing and very impressive. But if we actually have a look at our frame rate counter now, you can see, again, 4K DLSS super resolution set to quality, and now we have our 3X, we're looking at around about 46 milliseconds and about 160 FPS. So still really, really responsive. And if you compare this to 30 series and 40 series, obviously it's a massive jump. And one of the other big dramatic things that I think is going to help a lot of gamers, and it's something I've had a lot of issues with when it's come to frame generation, is actually the frame pacing. And they've actually managed to get the frame pacing to be a lot more consistent. That's the word I'm looking for, by using something called, what was it called, Carl? Was it flip? Cole didn't know either. I had to ask someone. Flip metering. So essentially, this is just going to help to iron out and actually present the frames to your display in a much more consistent manner. So you're not going to have, it's not necessarily stutter, it's just weird kind of frame pacing that you could find in certain games, certain scenarios, and interestingly, certain displays, because in Dragon Age, I had that issue on my TV, but not on the monitors, which was weird, where the frames just weren't quite being delivered consistently. But that is something that has been hopefully fixed. But let's go one step further. We go back into our video, and now we'll turn this down to 2x. And again, I don't think you're really going to notice that much difference, to be honest with you. Our latency, once it's settled, is around about 42, 47 milliseconds. And actually, I want to quickly just go back into this, and we'll now change it back to 4x, just so we can see the difference. Has that added much latency at all? Again, once it's settled, you can see there, no, not really. That's added maybe, what's that? 2 milliseconds, again, frame spike there. But yeah, you can really see that actually once you've enabled frame gen, changing the setting on the multi-frame generation doesn't actually make too much difference. So I think for a lot of people, you're probably going to want to turn this up as high as possible, really. But NVIDIA have been clear, there's not really any reason to have this way above your monitor's refresh rate. In an ideal world, you'd actually have a frame rate that was maybe slightly below the maximum of your display, and then you've got adaptive sync to kind of handle the rest, really. So it's nice and smooth, nice and consistent, and in theory, you're introducing less artifacts from this. You know, real talk, this is serious. This is something that gamers are going to either want to buy or avoid, and they're obviously looking for channels like this to actually give them some honest information about whether these things are any good, any problems and things. And I take that very seriously, because this is a lot of cash, especially if you're looking at 5080, 5090. And this is just one game. Obviously, we'll be doing our full benchmarking, full testing, and we will give our full review. But I'm very, very impressed so far. I don't know how this is going to scale down the stack, because again, frame generation works best when you've got a high frame rate to start with. But that latency figure for me, that is the thing that really makes the difference, because I've not really been able to play Cyberpunk with all of the bells and whistles and have the combination of a high frame rate and low latency. But let's now expose all of the weaknesses in this and do what NVIDIA don't want us to do, and actually turn DLSS frame gen off entirely. I realise actually we're going to have to jump cut this, and there'll be people going, no, he's changing the settings around, it's a different build. No, you just have to restart the game with frame gen in Cyberpunk now. Not entirely sure why. I think it's just because it makes sure it works properly. But yes, no cheating here, I promise. Let's see what this is like without any frame gen. Spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be as good. Right, okay, then here we go. Get some guesses in now. I promise I haven't looked. I'm saying probably about 78 FPS. Oh, not that far off, around about 68. So this is now very reminiscent of what I kind of remember Cyberpunk with path tracing to be. So obviously frame gen is off now. We do have our DLSS set to quality. So this is not the way I would advise playing this game. You can if you want. Obviously the settings are turn on, turn off. You can see that our latency is actually among the lowest that we've seen. And you might be a little bit confused why if you're kind of new to PC gaming and DLSS. How can we get a lower, which is obviously better, latency when our frame rate is lower? Remember, as soon as you actually add the AI frame generation into the mix, because there's more work to do, it essentially adds a little bit of a latency penalty. And despite the fact we've got higher frame rate, the game won't feel more responsive because we're not rendering more frames. So this is why we've got slightly better latency than we had a second ago. But I guess actually this is the figure I really wanted to see, because we typically saw maybe like, obviously it depends on the frame rate, but 10 to 15 milliseconds of latency added on the older cards. Whereas on this one, in this particular instance, we're getting about 10 to 13. So they have tightened it up by the looks of things. It's got a new algorithm for frame gen, so you're going to get better image quality and better latency. But it still follows the same rule, right? If you turn on frame generation and you've got a low frame rate in the first place, it's not going to save you. But if you've got like a base of around about 60 FPS, like we have here, then you're still able to obviously have a game that feels decently responsive. I mean, 40 milliseconds, as I say, that's well within what we need for a single player game, but it's pretty night and day difference. Obviously, it's not what NVIDIA don't want us to see, but it's not obviously what they're showing us, because I am aware that there will be loads of people watching this, again, myself included, I'm very much a pessimist, saying that this is, this is real, this is what we should be looking at. I mean, this is still with DLSS. I mean, if we turn DLSS off entirely, there you are, DLSS off. So this is literally just raw rendering. You can see that the frame rate obviously goes through the roof. We're getting 28 FPS and latency of around about 60 to 70 or so. And actually, Editor Carl, if you kind of move out a second, this is going to be a great example. If you have like a low frame rate and then you turn frame generation on, and you find that your latency kind of goes up above, as I say, about 55, but particularly like 70, 80 milliseconds, what you can kind of feel with your mouse is almost the equivalent of what you're seeing here. So if you ever have like a weird mismatch between the game looking great but feeling a little bit weird, that will be because the latency isn't what it should be. I mean, that's actually a really nice analogy, actually. That's what the game can feel like if your latency is too high. But yes, this is with path tracing though, but 34 FPS, it's not a lot, is it? Hang on a minute, I realized we didn't test with ray tracing off, and I've also managed to break it in a good way for me, not in a good way for image quality. I mean, if you have a look here, look, because this is what a lot of people are going to be asking about. Is frame gen going to ruin the look of your game? And in my experience from testing today, most of the time the answer has been no, but you will see that in extreme circumstances, and I think it's fair to say that this is quite extreme, you can definitely see that there is a little bit haloing. So we've got this set to 2x at the moment, but let's now go and turn this to 4x. I mean, actually, I just rolled a B-roll that we took a second ago. You'll see that there definitely is a fair bit of artifacting, but the fact that you really do have to go and look for it is pretty telling, really, that actually I think this tech is going to be very, very usable by the vast majority of people. It's pretty much going to be when you have like really fast motion or things like the hair on screen. That's when the combination of frame gen, DLSS, really pushing AI to generate as many frames as possible, it is going to cause you some artifacts. But now let's turn ray tracing off entirely. Remember that at the moment this is set to the highest possible, which is path tracing. I think because this is like as I say, like an exclusive build, it seems as if you can't actually have any of the other ray tracing settings, but I imagine, well, almost certainly that's going to not be in the final version. You'll have all of the RT options when you actually get to play this. Again, not entirely sure when that's going to be, but let's turn ray tracing off. Hopefully this has not bricked the system. I think they'd get sad. No, there we are. It has flicked into life, and you can notice a massive difference to the image quality, but obviously the frame rate now does go even higher. We're getting 436 FPS in Cyberpunk. That is pretty ridiculous. Yes, we are using AI, but if you don't want to have ray tracing on, then yeah, you're going to get an even higher frame rate. But who needs, at 4K performance, 433 FPS? Anyway, back to earlier, Marcus. Right, no, hang on, one more thing actually. I want to do an acoustic test, and I'm now filming this like an hour and a half later, because everyone else has gone in the room, which is nice, so we've got a nice quiet room. I will say that there's a weird air conditioner or something in this room that's making some whine, so this is your baseline. So you hear that whine, that is not coming from the PC, I promise. This is what the graphics card sounds like with everything turned up to max. So Tensor cores, RT, and obviously the GPU itself is just going nuts. And it's using about 575 watts, I think. Very, very quiet. That's a longer noise test than I would normally do. Pretty nuts for the amount of power and the fact that that is a 2-slot card. That is ridiculous. Anyway, back to wherever I was. But actually, guys, I think the last test that I do want to do is to use DLSS Super Resolution, but I want to set this to performance, but then not use any frame gen, because I know for a fact there will be people out there that won't want to have any frame gen enabled ever under any circumstances. So this is going to be the best combination, really, if you're after like the lowest latency possible. And indeed, our latency is, what's that, 26 milliseconds at the moment. Our frame rate is around about 90. So I definitely can notice that this now feels the best, but is it the overall best when it comes to the overall experience, the overall image quality and responsiveness combined? I mean, especially on a monitor like this, I would definitely start with frame generation on, and then if you found that you were running into any issues or you did want that lower latency, maybe you were specifically just in firefights and things all the time, then yeah, you could play like this. But I mean, clearly the big draw with this generation is going to be the new frame gen and the multi-frame generation. And I don't want to say I'm sold on this because it's just one game, but yeah, very, very impressed. 1 out of 1, 100% of the time. But what will it perform like in the games that don't have any of these NVIDIA features? Is it going to be worth it for those? We're not entirely sure. The gains definitely are not going to be crazy. I mean, we're probably looking like 15 to 30% depending on the game. But if there is something that does have the RTX features, and you're obviously looking at the higher end cards, the 5080, the 5090 that have loads of VRAM, I think it's looking pretty good so far. But let us know your thoughts on what you've seen here today. Do you think that all of the quality settings are good? What combination would you go for? Do you think frame gen is going to be worth turning on? It's a massive difference. Or would you still want to play with the lowest latency possible with frame gen off? Or do you think all of it's a waste of time? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this though, and as I say, get subscribed for a full review. Let us know what games you want us to test. But thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.